Hey guys, it's me, Queen. I wanted just to make a video about this rather than a Periscope because Periscope live videos and me are just we're just not good. Perhaps I might do some of these live videos in the future, but for right now I just want to just have my thoughts out and I just don't really want to be distracted with live content. So forgive me, this is just me. It's just my raw thoughts. So a lot of you guys know what's going on right now with the rioting and the deployment of just widespread mayhem throughout the major cities. And there's just one thing that just goes through my mind and I just cannot forget this. It's just so many just one-on-one boots on the ground encounters with different people, and I just want to explain a couple of things that are going through my mind that I think you've experienced yourself but you just haven't quite put to words. And it's the idea of social engineering. It's the idea of convincing people to just be literally afraid of everything and everyone, and just even questioning certain things that are right in front of their faces. So it all kind of started when I think about it with one of my clients. I was telling her about there was a surge in new COVID cases, and I was telling her that specifically that I think that the protests that we've been having with George Floyd have aggravated it. And she was like, well, a lot of the people were wearing masks. And I was thinking to myself, well, hold up, even if they were wearing masks, and we know that unless it was, and everyone was wearing N95s, most people were wearing cloth masks, or even if they weren't, most people who were screaming and shouting, they were exchanging bodily fluids through the saliva. It was acting as a projectile. That's kind of one of the reasons why they wanted to shut down churches, because they thought that that was a high likelihood of transmission of the virus. But more even that, forget even the mask, right? It was the close proximity, right? And so I remember just telling this to my client. She was like, no, that can't be the case. And it just amazes me, the hypocrisy that we're seeing right now with the mainstream media saying that we're going to all die from COVID, but it was almost cheering on and encouraging protesting. Now, whether or not you believe that the protesting were violent or it was more chaotic, it's beside the point of what I'm trying to say. But what I'm trying to explain to you right now is that you're seeing right now, right in front of your faces, people are just ignoring what they're seeing right now. And I'm gonna give you another couple examples. I think about another example where I was talking with a couple of people at different furniture stores and just kind of talking with the workers about different issues. But I'll never forget one young man. I was at this one furniture store and he said to me, he was like, I wasn't wearing a mask initially. In fact, I didn't even know I was supposed to wear a mask. I wasn't paying attention to the sign. My husband later gave me a mask. But anyway, I remember the man at the store said, oh, aren't these masks terrible? Aren't we tired of these masks? And I was like, I told him I think it's bullshit. And he was like, yeah, I think it's bull too. And he proceeded to get out a lighter and he turned on his lighter and he blew the light out with his lighter. And he was like, if I can blow out this lighter with my breath through the mask, how effective is this? And I remember talking to another young lady at a different furniture store, and she was telling me, I can't breathe, I can't really focus. Sometimes I get dizzy and I get winded through wearing these masks. And so we know that a lot of the people who are wearing masks are not effective. And for those of you guys who still are old enough to remember January of this year, where the head of the CDC was saying, well, in some cases wearing a mask is not effective because most people don't know how to use it. It was better off if the medical health professionals wear it. And now they're saying, well, you can wear any kind of mask. You can even wear a cloth mask, right? It's just as effective. But we all know it's bogus, right? So when with this whole, I'm going to call it the beer bug, because I don't know if YouTube's going to strike me or whatever. But we know with this whole thing that it's not really you're not going to die. You've got a 0.03% chance, right, of dying from this thing, right, if you do get it. And like, let's say you do get put on a ventilator, right? I think there's like a survival rate of what, 8% if you do go on a ventilator, right? So odds are most of the people who are going to die from this virus, this incident, are already had underlying health issues, right? But most people, they just don't understand. I don't know if it's just I don't think it's ignorance. I think that's just basically being told to stay in your home and not question anything. And that actually brings me next to this whole Black Lives Matter thing. I definitely believe in my heart that a lot of people are insincerely being duped by the funding of the huge funding surge of Black Lives Matter. I think I was reading on through Act Blue's Twitter account, they were saying like within the past few years that they've collected the tune of what $5.8 billion, like crazy amount of money. And so I was talking to one of my Twitter followers, and I was just kind of explaining like, man, Act Blue is collecting a lot of money, and he was like, no, follow the money, like it's more than that. And so he directed me to like this organization called 1,000 Oats. I forgot. Please forgive me. You guys can correct me in the comment section below, because I'm only doing one take of this bad boy. And then I started reading a little bit more, and then the Black Lives Matter is also being funded through the TIES organization, and also through the Ford Foundation, I think, and another organization, Moretti's, I forgot the name of it. But the whole point of all of this is that there's a whole lot of money coming through, and a very, very, very few percentage of the money is actually going to the local chapters, or hell, even to Black families, and going towards mostly travel expenses and quote administration fences. And also one more thing that I wanted to say is that a lot of Black Lives Matter it's being funded through Open Society, through George Soros' organization. So for me, I just feel like it's all a money grab. It's all a very sophisticated money grab. Because if the people of Black Lives Matter really cared about Black lives, they would not be actively trying to destroy Black families. And if you don't believe me, go and look at the About page within Black Lives Matter and just read it for yourself. Don't take my word as gospel. One of the things that they have talked about openly was the desire for disrupting the patriarchal confines of the nuclear family, and we all know why, because if we can remove any barriers from the kids to the state, like that's the goal. Communism is the goal. And the leaders of Black Lives Matter, they're openly Marxist. They've said it, like they're really open for that. And so one of the other things that I just want to talk about that's just straight up on my mind is that there's this huge push, right, for destroying the local police. But how come nobody wants to talk about destroying the FBI or the NSA or the Secret Service? And how come they are talking about it's like they want to destroy and topple churches and synagogues, but they're curiously not talking about mosques? So you're getting like the idea that it's very targeted. It's very a militarized approach. And I don't really, and this next point, you may not like it, what I have to say, but I feel like Trump is not doing it. He's not gonna, for those of you who think like MAGA, like Trump is going to throw up on a white horse and he's going to do something about it, like guess again, he's going to fold. The reason why I'm saying this, you guys remember back in summer 2016 when the whole caravans were coming, and under mounting pressure, Trump stopped the deportations, right? Because it was just so much pressure. And I feel like right now he's folding right now. He could round up every single person that is the organization, like within the power, with his power, he can round up every single person that's within Antifa, the organization, the whole lead. and just have them march down 16th Avenue right now and to say, look, we don't tolerate this. It's not acceptable, right? But instead of doing that, he's just barking loud on Twitter. And frankly, I don't know about you, but I don't need people to bark on Twitter. I think I bark myself on Twitter. I don't need another person in the sphere barking. I need someone with teeth to actually do something. And so what we're seeing right now is that I just feel like we've got straw men in office. And one of the reasons I've said this repeatedly on Twitter is that I'm not a Republican for a reason. Because I feel like Republicans, most mainstream Republicans, they're just weak. They're just weak and ineffective, and they will quickly just go woke because they are so afraid of the mob. But here's the thing with the mob is that, and they're afraid of well, I have to apologize, or I might offend someone. Here's the thing, they're always going to be offended. They're always going to be irritated. They're always going to want to take more power. Here's the thing, there's a concept called selective failure, over failure. So meaning that you say something batshit crazy, you're demanding something that's impossible. For example, let's say I storm into your house, right? And I say, I want your kids, I want $20,000, I want everything from you, right? And you know that you only have $100 in your house, right? Max, right? But maybe you can offer me your gold chain. Maybe you can offer me something that's also very, very precious in order for me to leave your house. So the whole goal wasn't to get all the the $20,000 and your kid and all this stuff. I just wanted more power from you. So I'm just going to rain hell and fire onto you. And so I can just push the needle, get the Overton window a little further more toward my side. And that's what we're seeing right now. And for the life of me, I don't know why more Republicans aren't waking up and smelling the coffee for what it is. And I think part of the reason why I'm doing this video right now is because there's a lot of people that I know who were just absolutely scared out of their mind. They're apolitical for the most part. They have no idea what's going on. They just see that people are just acting insane. The cities have been taken over by left-wing extremists. And all they've been they told is when they read the New York Times and Washington Post and so many all these other issues is that it's just white supremacist and it's and fascist. And it is so much more than that. There is so much more than people are seeing beyond the surface. Or I was just reading a very interesting article it was from the AP News. They were talking about Associated Press. They were talking about how Google is going to be hiring people to write news articles. And I was just like, oh my gosh, if people can't see the disinformation campaign for what it is, I can't help you. I don't know what to say to you. Right now, I anticipate that there will be, if you think that we've got disinformation that's going on right now, you have no idea what's going to happen next. It's going to freaking blow your mind. We start making screenshots, start writing down stories, in your journal, start talking with people and record things, record even you talking about your day right now, because right now what you're seeing is history is slowly going to be rewritten. I promise you, history will slowly be rewritten right now. You're seeing it right now with the revisionist history about certain people that are being toppled down from the mob. You're going to see a whole lot more. And the whole point of this issue is to cripple the morale of the U.S. and start a new world order. That's it. I'll probably talk more about this when I don't look as crusty as I am right now. This is just a raw take. I just want to get my thoughts out there. But thanks for listening. Take care. Bye-bye.